Group production.
Welcome to another amazing episode of the Pirate Radio Show. I'm the Pirate. I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Monique McCall. Monique, how are you today?
Good. How are you, Johnny?
If I was feeling as good as you look, I'd be amazing. I'd be the President of the United States.
Well, you're way too nice. You probably need to get your eyes checked. It's been a while.
And if this was a political show, we'd go there. But we're not going to go there. Instead, we're going to go out to the ocean where it's peaceful and tranquil. My favorite place, second favorite place to be.
I'm ready to go.
Let's do it. So today, thank you guys again for tuning in to the Pirate Radio Show. We've got a great show on tap for you today. I'm excited about it. We've got our venue of the week is going to be the Quiet Crab, based out of Stuart, Florida. The owner, Jeff Gold, is going to be talking to us a little bit about what they've got going on. And we've got our main guest is not only a world-renowned archaeologist, he's a very dear friend of mine, Mr. Jim, or as most know him, James Sinclair. Going to be talking to us a little bit about some treasure hunting and treasure diving stuff and archaeology and some ventures that he's been involved in that is absolutely mind-blowing. He's like the Moses of treasure diving. I can't wait for you to meet him because we've had these pieces of coal that he gave me from Titanic that you got to check out a week or so ago.
I know. I couldn't believe I was holding those in my hand.
I know.
This
crazy.
This is a big piece of history.
It is. It's a major piece. I mean, it's from the Titanic shipwreck. And it's right here. So we're going to talk to Jim about that. And for those of you watching at home, you'll be able to see it. But if not, you have to catch us at an event and we'll bring some out and let you guys check it out.
I was hoping you would bring the Hope Diamond, but hey, we'll take the coal. That works for me, right?
There's nothing wrong with hoping. So I call it the Hope Diamond. You hope it shows up. But
I've been hoping for a long time.
I know. It's like hoping,
maybe when I leave here today.
It's like hoping your marriages last. But yeah, you know what? Speaking of marriages, I've been married twice. Wow. I married two Deborah Jeans. My first wife and second wife had the same name.
Well, Johnny, I'd hate to tell you, but my name is Monique Jean. So I don't know. Something in the middle name. You might want to steer clear.
There may be a proposal during the break. You never know.
All right. Well, what else do we have on?
Well, normally we do our fishing report by Captain Matt Budd from the Jupiter Fishing Academy. But Matt is out fishing. When Matt's normally out fishing, we have Brad Brock, who's usually in the studio with us, which we're going to touch on that in a second. But I found out through the grapevine that Brad is out fishing with Matt. So we have no fishing report today.
Wow, Brad, nothing like taking a day off.
I know, but we're going to surprise you guys because typically our fishing report is brought to you by the Fish Flood Association. So we're going to be talking to Miss Victoria Brinkley, the founder of Fish Flood Association. We're going to have her call in a little bit. We'll talk to her. But yeah, so they're out fishing, and there's one thing I wanted to touch on when you talk about the ocean and the fishing and all the stuff that we do, is that treasure diving and the Treasure Coast, this being the Treasure Coast of Florida, a lot of people don't know why they call it the Treasure Coast, but it's because of all the treasure that's out there, and it's something we like to touch on every show, as well as ocean conservation, doing everything we do for charities and stuff, and we're going to touch on some events we want to do. And one of those events is something you've got coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got a great event coming up here on this afternoon between 3 and 6 p.m. I will be performing at the Old Fish House in Grant, Florida, sharing my message of living and loving through music. So I'm really excited about that.
And that's going to be a good time. In the Old Fish House, we've had them as our venue of the week before, and it's a great local account along the Treasure Coast. Up in Grant, Florida, if you don't know, is just a little bit north of Sebastian, Florida. Mm-hmm. If you don't know where Sebastian is.
It's right on the water. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I couldn't believe it last time I was out there. It's like a hidden jewel.
A hidden gem.
Yeah.
As the owner, Tom Euler, would say, it's a 5-star dive bar.
Well, yeah, I like that title.
I know. And doing that event later this afternoon, we're going to be, for every Code Rum cocktail that you order, you get a free raffle ticket. So we're going to be giving away a treasure chest, a real unauthentic treasure chest.
Well, I'm looking forward to winning that raffle then.
As you should. I don't know when, we didn't really plan this out as when Victoria's going to call in, but it doesn't really matter because pirates fly by the seat of their pants, or their knickers, as you would say. So yeah, as far as the Old Fish House, though, up in Grant, Florida, For every Code Rum cocktail you buy, you get a free raffle ticket. And we're going to call out a winning number, and that winner will get this treasure chest, a real fake treasure chest, with probably rum cakes, hot sauces, t-shirt, decal, keys to a car that we found in the parking lot last time we were there.
Well, that's perfect. What kind of car are we talking about here?
I don't know. We just found the keys to it.
Oh, I was hoping it was a Tesla or something.
Why are you Teslaing me?
Not yet. Well, you do have to come out because Code Rum is fantastic. Johnny Ringo is absolutely incredible.
Stop.
So it's always a good time, a great party, and of course, yours truly will be on the microphone, so I'm ready to entertain all of you.
Wait, I thought you were going to be on the microphone.
Yeah, that's me. I'm yours truly.
Oh, I thought, okay, I get you now. Well, let's get Victoria on the line whenever we can. But meanwhile, we're going to talk about, speaking of events, cool stuff we want to do. She's on the line now? Victoria's on the line now.
Ah, perfect.
I'm here.
Victoria, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome.
Every time I hear your voice, it puts a smile on my face.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So, Fish Floyd Association is a big part of our show, and your support and our support of you goes hand in hand. So, basically, we've been talking about you guys on the air. Tell us a little bit about what you do there at the Fish Floyd Association.
Well, we did a couple of projects. We did the mobile app, the Fish Florida mobile app, and the Fish Florida Association, which supports, the Fish and Wildlife Foundation of Florida, the FWC, charities that are working hard out there to make a difference, and the smaller business owners that need help, they need exposure and marketing for their business. We charge a very small annual fee, and there's like over 45 member benefits and services for those business owners. But those two things bootstrap me into the Fish Florida Media Group, which has Pirate Radio Show and many other shows in it. And those shows are set up to drive awareness to the association. But what's really cool is we've got Pirate Radio Show. Everybody's raving about it. They absolutely
stop
love
it.
Yeah, and that's when I hear. I get Coast 101 over in the Treasure Coast. They are so excited about the show. So.
Well, who wouldn't be excited about treasure, right?
Yeah.
Think about that for a second. I mean, that's a real thing.
Yeah, there's still some out there. So this weekend after my show, I think I'll head on out with a nice metal detector and see what I can find.
Actually, when you say there's still some out there, there's still more treasure on the bottom of the ocean than all the vaults in the world. Which is why this is the Treasure Coast. And there's a lot out there, and while we're looking for, we practice ocean conservation, which is a lot about what you guys do as well, Victoria.
Yeah. And you know what we did also for the commercial marketers? Those are bigger companies that have marketing budgets. We put together comprehensive marketing packages that from A to Z, you name it, it's in there. It's there's email marketing, there's Facebook ads, Instagram ads, there's text message marketing. There's all these things, and we also include the radio ads. So we put very fair pricing on those marketing packages. You can check those out at www.fishfordassociation.com and go to radio shows. You can also listen to the Pirate Radio Show if you go there. You can tune in from our mobile app. There's now we have we have 5 radio stations altogether.
What?
Yes.
So how does somebody become a member of the Fish Floyd Association?
They can go to the website, the fishfordassociation.com. If they're interested in a marketing package like what we have for your show, which makes your show possible, so we really appreciate our sponsors, they can give me a call. My number's on there as well, or they can also reach out to you, Johnny.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Victoria, it's a pleasure talking to you as always, and we'll plan on having you in the studio soon.
Oh, that's so nice of you guys, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come.
Absolutely. Thank
you so much, Victoria.
And all that you guys do. Once again, you're listening to the Pirate Radio Show, and we'll be back after these messages from our amazing sponsors.
Fish Florida Media Group Production.
Welcome back to the Pirate Radio Show with your hosts Johnny Ringo and Monique McCall.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing better now, man. We're rolling along on a beautiful Sunday, and I'm very excited because not only do we have someone on the line here that's legendary, he's also a dear friend of mine. We have world-renowned archaeologist James Sinclair. Jim, how's it going, buddy?
Good, Ringo. How's it going with you, man?
Oh man, it couldn't be better. It's another day in paradise.
Another gorgeous sunny South Florida day. How are you?
I am just fine, thank you.
Jim, I'm going to introduce you to my co-host Monique. Monique, Jim Sinclair. Monique's a diver as well, Jim. So we got to get her out there, man.
Oh my goodness, I'd love to hop out on the ocean with you, Jim. Sounds like you've had a really fantastic life and many adventures. We're looking to hear all about it.
Yeah, I've been very, very lucky and blessed to have people like Johnny in my life, and it's added so much color, and come to find out that it's the people that are the real treasure. But we can talk about treasure too.
There you go. And all his excitement, his adventure was before he even went out, even made it on the boat. But I was going to fill the audience in prior to us getting you on the line, but we ran out of time. But I'll tell a quick story how Jim and I met. I think it was 1943 or something. I forget the year.
I believe that, Johnny.
I built this replica pirate ship because I was starting this apparel brand called the Gnarly Pirate. And I was going to sell millions of dollars worth of pirate costumes and such. Didn't happen. And we started this radio show called Pirate Soup Radio on AM radio with Clear Channel back in 2009. And Seafair Exploration Corp, they were doing this treasure expo in Myrtle Beach. So I had an H2 Hummer at the time, built this pirate ship. Jim, remember we picked Jim up at his house in St. Augustine, and we drove this pirate ship to Myrtle Beach where we set up in front of the convention center for this treasure expo. Was that a fun weekend or what, Jim?
Yeah. There's a lot of liquid, as I recall.
There was some rum.
Well,
there
I'm
was some
sorry
rum
I missed it. I probably wasn't born yet, Johnny.
There was some rum destroyed that weekend. But yeah, that was a great time, and you had a seminar to do, and real quick, I keep saying real quick, but there's so much to talk to you about. Jim talking to me about some stories that Jim's worked with Mel Fisher. He's worked with everybody. Mel Fisher, he's been around for so many different things. He's got so many great stories. But he started telling me stories in our hotel room. We had adjoining rooms. We just met. We left our doors open between the two rooms the whole entire weekend. And he started telling me these stories about treasure, and I knew right then and there what I wanted to do with my life. And I wanted to be a treasure diver. And I did. I followed that dream. And that's how Jim and I met.
So, Jim, I want to hear some of those stories because if you were able to coerce Johnny into that, I want to see how you can get me on board.
That's right.
I'll tell you, with Johnny, it didn't take a whole lot of coercion. I think it was just quickly after that we were both on a ship called the Iron Maiden, which is what Seafair has for its exploration ship, and we were trying to figure out how best to access a site that's in 80 feet of water, just a little south of the Jupiter area in Florida. We came to find out that it had a pretty quick current running over the top of it, and so we had to get dropped off about, about 300 feet away from it so that we could make it to the bottom and be somewhere in the area where the remnants of the shipwreck were. But it's a late 1500 period ship from the looks of the things that came up from it. But, where the rest of it is still a mystery.
It is. And that current, sometimes that current was, understatement, it was ripping. If you turned your head sideways, it would rip your mask off. Sometimes that current absolutely ripped, but it was a good time. That was off at Juno Beach, Florida.
That's right. And we had some interesting colorful characters that were part of that crew.
To say the least.
Rotated in and out. Not going to mention any names, but they know who they are. They're listening to you.
Yes, they do.
we had some good times.
We did.
And I've been lucky enough to be involved with some really great shipwreck projects through the years, and of course was lucky enough to get involved with the Mel Fisher Group well before they found the quote-unquote mother lode at the Atocha back in 1985. I started with them in 1980. And, 5 years before we found that big pile of treasure, but, we were finding little bits and pieces all along the way. So I spent 16 years in Key West, 10 years directly on that project. I started my own company where we went around the country selling some of the treasures. There's 175,000 silver coins that came off of that shipwreck. And
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. What did that treasure consist of? We love to hear.
175,000 silver coins.
What is that worth?
I ended up being in charge of the laboratory, and as you probably know, everything goes under the water. It's been under there for any amount of time. It gets affected by the ocean. So I had to clean those coins, and I had to clean close to 1,200 silver bars that weighed between 70 and 100 pounds apiece, all the different artifacts, ceramics, and all sorts of things that came off that ship. Plus, now we're up to about 7,000 uncut Colombian emeralds that came off the ship, because I'm still the primary archaeologist on that project, and they're still finding treasure down there on the old Atocha.
So where are all these items now? Just out of curiosity. I'm not going to come steal them from you or anything. But
Pirates.
You'd be a little sorry if you're trying to steal them from me.
This is a pirate radio show,
That's right. Just send us the coordinates. It's funny because you talk about the silver bars, Jim. I hosted and produced with Alan Blah, who authored the book Black Sails, 1715, and we had Mel's daughter Taffy Fisher, her husband Michael, and her Mel's granddaughter Nicole on the ship, and we brought a silver bar from the Atocha on the ship. It was like 77 pounds. So everybody on the cruise got to actually hold a silver bar from the Atocha, which was really cool. And as we all know, you know Taffy Fisher really well. We've had her on the show, and she's an amazing woman and so much fun to hang out with and listen to her stories like yours.
Well, Taffy and I are we go way back. We go back to 1980, and actually Nicole's my godchild.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I thought you and Taffy met at band camp.
It's all in the family.
You guys met at treasure camp.
Nice.
Yeah, Nicole's awesome, and they've got a little shameless plug for them. They've got the obviously the Mel Fisher Museum in Key West, but also they've got the Mel Fisher Museum in Sebastian, Florida, which is awesome. If you guys haven't been to either one of them, check them out. If you're in North Florida, go to Sebastian, check out the Mel Fisher Museum in Sebastian, Florida. It's really cool. And you're in videos when we go in there, and they show the old videos of the Virgilona boat that you and I both worked on, Mel Fisher's Virgilona. There's footage of you in there, Jim. You're a strapping young man.
Well, I'd kind of like to know what your favorite Mel Fisher story is.
Oh.
Well, this is kind of not the story you probably wanted to hear, but one of my favorite images of Mel. I've worked a lot, not only on the boats, but in the office. There's a lot of administrative work to do with all the artifacts that were coming in. But before we found the primary cultural deposit of the mother lode of the Atocha in 1985, I was in this area of our offices that's called the chart room, and Mel was looking at this chart of the Atocha spread out on a light table, and she was kind of standing there looking. I said, Mel, what are you looking at? He goes, and this is the biggest puzzle of my life. I just can't figure out where it went. And, you have to know, he's a big guy. He had a habit of smoking a lot of cigarettes and drinking a lot of rum, and he was standing there with rum and coke in one hand and a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. He was an interesting man. One of the other ones that I did was he got this little silver locket that was all encrusted that came off of the 1715 fleet. And I was lucky enough to be able to clean that to the point where I could actually open the two little silver doors that enclosed two panes of glass. I opened up the glass, and on the inside there was what was left probably of some sort of copper piece that had been painted on, but that was completely gone. So I took a picture of Mel and put it inside. And I brought it down to him into his office, and I said, hey, no, you never know what's in this locker. Really? What's in it? I said, weirdest picture you've ever seen. Really? I said, yeah. So he opened it up, and he just sat back and started laughing. But, you know, I mean, there's so many stories about the Atocha and, you know, being on that project. It's hard for me to point to one and say, this is my favorite. You know, I've always found that I was, you know, associated with really great people, both the crew and
Jim,
people that work.
Jim, thank you.
Normally we'd end the segment right here, but we've still got some more stuff to talk to you about. If you can you hang on to the line till we take this break and we'll get back to you?
Sure.
Hang on, my friend. We'll be right back. The Pirate Radio Show of Jim Sinclair, world-renowned archaeologist.
Fish, Florida, Media Group Production.
Welcome back to the Pirate Radio Show. And if you're just tuning in, we've got archaeologist Jim Sinclair on the phone. Hey, Jim, you still there?
Sure am.
I was thinking after we went to that break of so many stories that you and I have together and apart, and so I had to keep you hanging on so we can share some of those. And I think Monique just touched on your favorite Mel Fisher story, which you shared with us, which is awesome. You were on, real quick, and she's got another question she's going to ask you later, but Cooper's Treasures on Discovery Channel?
Yeah, I was co-star on that show, one of four. Of course, my friend Daryl Nicholas was the lead in that, but I got to be the archaeologist on the second season of that show, and traveled extensively throughout the Bahamas archipelago and islands, looking for various shipwreck remains. And it was a fun project. A lot of work, but a fun project.
Have you ever done a project that wasn't fun? I mean, getting to go out, and I used to think back when I did it, like every day we got to wake up and you and I and the crew head out to Jupiter Inlet at daybreak and search for treasure. I'm like, this is like my dream job.
I know.
Well, what was
so
the
cool.
hardest part of the job, really? I mean,
Putting up with me.
yeah, well, that's the hard part of this job as well.
Ba-doomps. I know. Damn, am I bleeding? Dang.
Again?
We've got a lot of stories about us working together, Jim. One, you may not have seen this, but when we're diving with Rachel and Chuck, and you guys were down, it was a crystal clear, it was dead flat. We had top to bottom viz, like 80 feet of water. I could see you guys on the bottom. And when I was captaining the boat, I would drop a line overboard and I would bottom fish because I could see where the divers were, and when they were ready to come up, I'd reel it in, maybe with a fish on it, and pick the divers up. It was one particular time they were down there forever. And we had a little white board so we could write on and stuff. So I hooked one of these boards to the fishing line and dropped it down with a note that says, "I'm hungry." So it said, "I'm hungry," a little bit more than that, but it said, "I'm hungry." And Rachel who was our full-time archaeologist, your assistant archaeologist. Chuck's like, he sees the little fish following the little note I dropped down, and he's like, "Rachel, come with me." She's like, "No, I'm sticking with Jim. I'm sticking with the archaeologist. I'm not going to follow you, your little adventure." And Chuck reaches out for the sign. I jerk it because I could literally see him. And he finally grabs it and reads it and tugs on it. We had so many fun times, and we worked hard, and there was days that it wiped us out, but we had a lot of fun doing it too, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, I mean, I don't think that people really see just how much work it actually takes. There's the boat upkeep, there's the dive gear upkeep, there's the work you do on site, there's the work you do in the laboratory, there's the paperwork you got to do, and it's the reports you got to do. I mean, there's an awful lot of work that goes into quote-unquote treasure hunting. If you're doing it all on the up and up and legally.
Right,
Yeah.
Which we did.
Luckily, I've been involved with most, all of them have been legal treasure hunts, so to speak, and, I try to steer away from the people who don't want to do it that way.
Well, I think what it is that everyone just focuses on the prize, that moment, that excitement, and I was hoping that you would share what that looks like or what it looked like on some of the treasures that you found. I mean, what was that emotion? What was everyone feeling? Paint that picture for us.
Well, I have to go back to, it's my favorite shipwreck, and maybe it's because it's the first one or it's a unique shipwreck, but I have to go back to the Atocha, which sank in 1622. And, when that first was found, and on my first dive out there, the guys had already found it. There'd been like a tropical storm that came through, so they got chased off the site, and they brought in a handful of silver bars. But the next time they went out, I went out with them and suited up, and I started to dive down. And the first 20 feet you really couldn't see because it's in an area called the Hawks Channel,
Right.
which is the outer reef, and then there's the
Sure.
inside island, and in between there's a kind of a trough. And the visibility wasn't that great, but as I went down through the water column, and you started to see this image on the bottom of a kind of a dark spot, and I went down, and all of a sudden I realized what I was looking at were silver bars stacked up, about as far as I could see, but it was at least an 80-foot long pile of material.
Like 1,100 of them or something crazy.
Yeah, and mixed in with that were the remnants of wooden chests filled with silver coins, people's personal possessions. And when I landed down on the bottom and I put my hands on that pile for the first time, it struck me that I was inside what was left of a Spanish galleon that had gone down 380 plus years before.
That is so crazy.
That is fascinating.
People that were on that boat, they echoed still, down there, and you could, if you could picture it, you could almost see those wooden walls going up because they were gone, of course.
Right.
The wood was gone. That was one spot in a scattered track of material. Where that scattered track material actually originated, that stretched over 10 miles. And it was, Mel Fisher's luck, if you will. He found the back end of it first, and it only took him 16 years to find it.
Only 16 years.
Yeah, lucky is for those who are unprepared, right?
Right.
And I always say that, when you find that, it's always the glamour of finding that treasure or that mother lode, but we really connect the past with the present because there are people on that ship that lost their lives, and when I'm down there in solitude of diving, seeking treasure, I'm thinking about the people that were on that ship and how what was going through their minds. They had family back home, and as the ship's going down, it's crazy, and there's a lot to it. The history of
the connection to the history.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's always what fascinated me. It's the human element, not only of
Exactly.
the people who are on that shipwreck, but the people that are involved with it today, because in a sense, in a real sense, they become a part of the history of that shipwreck. People that recover the material, find the treasure, however you want to put that. But, those people are as much a part of the history of that ship as the shipwreck and what it was doing in the past is, for back then. So we become part of that one historical moment by helping to bring it back into the present.
That's right. And speaking of the present, to touch back again when we met on that infamous trip to Myrtle Beach, I remember just thinking, oh my God, this guy, Jim Sinclair, is an amazing human being. The knowledge that you had and hold fascinated me, and just listening to stories of yours. And then we did the event. It was a treasure expo, I think. And I had built with a couple of friends, had built this replica pirate ship, like a 24-foot ship. And we had to set it up outside the convention center. And we actually had to stay another day because I literally had to climb up the mast to take the sails down from this replica ship. And it was so windy out, I couldn't climb up there because I'm 6'4", but I'm afraid of heights. So that's why my shoes are always untied. I can't look down. And but on the drive home, like I mentioned, I had this H2 Hummer. So now we're driving down 95, a Hummer, pulling a freaking pirate ship. And I think a Georgia trooper pulled us over.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm not speeding. And he goes, I just have to ask, is that a pirate ship back there? Yep. Good thing you didn't find the doubloons, huh, Jim? That was a fun weekend, my friend.
Those are really fun times. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm just wondering how I can get in touch with you so I can hop on board and get some treasure hunting and diving under my belt.
Well, your podcast mate there knows how to get in touch with me. And maybe you can have me on again and I'll tell you about the first time I dove on the Titanic.
Yes. Speaking of that, I'm holding in my hand, Jim, a little styrofoam cup with some coal in it that you actually gave me years ago. Some coal from the Titanic.
Here, I just have to touch this again.
No, take the coal. Yes,
That'd be the first time I got coal, Johnny.
It's my most cherished gift, Jim, is which we're going to have you on the show again. We'll talk about the Titanic. Jim's one of the few people that went down to the actual Titanic in these little 2-3 men subs, 17,000 feet below, 3.5 hours to get down, 4.5 hours to get back up. And he gifted me years ago some pieces of coal from the Titanic shipwreck. Now, I don't know how many people can say they got an artifact from the Titanic, but this pirate can.
I don't know how many people can say that they're me and they're holding this in their hand.
That's right. Lucky you. Jim, thank you, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right. Jim Sinclair.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Archaeologist, amazing man. You're listening to the Pirate Radio Show. We'll be back after these words.
This has group production.
Welcome back to the Pirate Radio Show. And we've had a great time here. We're actually recording from our Boca Studios for the first time ever. This is our first show down south, and it's very exciting. The crew here is amazing. What do you think, Mo?
I think they're fantastic. Thank you, guys.
Yes,
Woo!
it's good to be here in southern South Florida, Boca Raton. So we're going to jump right into our cocktail of the week. And this is a drink that you will love. It's the Code Key Lime Colada. If you like coladas, any kind of coladas, you're going to love this. The recipe is as follows. Code Key Lime rum, 1 ounce of it. 1 3/4 ounce of Kiki Beach Key Lime cream liqueur. A splash of pina colada mix and pineapple juice. Code Key Lime rum, Kiki Beach Key Lime cream liqueur, pina colada mix and pineapple juice.
Where am I getting all these ingredients?
Total Wine, where you can get Code Rum from.
Well, perfect. I'm
Tons
going
of
to head
mom
on
and pop.
over.
What you do is go to thecoderum.com, click on our store locator. It'll pull up all the mom and pops, restaurants, bars, brothels that went around Florida.
All right.
Yes.
It's a code rum kind of week.
That's right. Every week's a Code Rum kind of week. Which brings us to the venue of the week. And this week, our venue of the week is the Quiet Crab, located in Stuart, Florida. And I've been told we have the owner, Jeff Gold, on the line from the Quiet Crab.
So is that the Quiet Crab?
Shh.
Hey Johnny, how you doing?
Jeff, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing well, thank you for having me.
Good to talk to you, man. I haven't been in there in a minute, but whenever I come in, you guys have to end up kicking me out because everything you guys do there is amazing. I'm not just saying that because you're on the show, even though I would say it because you're on the show. In this case, I'm not.
So I don't imagine it's quiet in there or anything, right?
Yes and no.
Maybe it's just a well-kept secret.
I appreciate the rave review there, Johnny. You know, I mean, this restaurant's, we've been here for almost 3 years this April, and
wow.
I'm originally from Maryland, so you know, my whole intention with this restaurant is just to give not just Marylanders who live here full time, but you know, Southwest Florida a taste of Maryland, of how we do it back at home.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job too, man. I'm telling you, I know firsthand, and I'm a cook. I cook. I rarely eat out, which is why you don't see me that often. But when I want blue crabs or crab cakes better than mine, which I'm not real happy about, I come to the Quiet Crab, and they do it right at the Quiet Crab. I'm telling you.
So if I was a first-time visitor to the Quiet Crab, what would you recommend?
Well, I can tell you this, and I'll answer your question after this. Everything's brought in fresh same day, if not every other day. From my crab meat from Southern Maryland to my blue crabs are flown in from Louisiana. We only bring in jumbo blue crabs, and based on availability. And when I say jumbo, how we measure a jumbo crab is point to point, and they're minimum 7.5 inches across, if not 8. I tell this to every one of our guests that comes into the restaurant, whether it's your first time or your 100th time that come in. You know, if you want to be a customer, go somewhere else. if you want to be part of a family, a guest, and a friend, you come to my restaurant.
There you
I would
go.
recommend. Yeah, our crab cakes are our #1 seller on our item.
It sounds
on our
like an
menu.
experience.
Well, I gotta tell you, when you touch on something, I always tell people I like my crabs like I like my women, not jumbo, but hot and spicy. Just putting it out there, man.
Yeah, our crab cakes, everything's made to scratch the same day, from the sauces to the crab cakes. Our shrimp are from Key West.
Key West Pinks.
It's an experience. You're right.
And I try not to like you because you made me mad because, like I said, I love to cook, and I would come back from the Keys all the time. And those of you that's done it, there's a toll road, Cardtown Road, and they'll have a sign out.
I have no problem, Johnny, giving you an apron. You can go to the kitchen and cook.
I knew you were gonna say that, but there's a Cardtown Road, and until a couple years back, you'd see the sign before the toll at Cardtown, live blue crabs. I would buy my live blue crabs, bring them home in a paper bag in my cooler, cook them, pick the crab meat out, and make my crab cakes. And for all the crabs I got maybe 2 or 3 crab cakes. And I'm a crab cake connoisseur. And my crab cakes I thought were the best in the world. And I've had them at the Breakers. I've had them at all these different restaurants. I went to the Quiet Crab for the first time. I'm like, let me check out the crab cakes. And it made me very angry that they were better than mine, because there's no filler in these crab cakes. And I gotta give it to you, man. They're amazing. It's just nothing but freaking crab meat. But you can tell us more about it than I can.
When you see it on a menu, I don't care where you are, other than Maryland, D.C., Virginia, Delaware, and you see authentic Maryland crab cake, 99% of the time it's going to be loaded with filler, unless you don't know about the origin of the restaurant, the owner, the history. Filler consists of what I call Christmas ornaments: red pepper, parsley, maybe some onion inside it. That's not a crab cake. A crab cake is crab meat. When we sell out of crab cakes, we sell out. I'm not making any more for the night because the product is not here, or it was just an overwhelming, dining experience with guests call in, take out, curbside, whatever it may be. And you said touch on an experience. It is an experience. Eating crabs
Yes.
is an experience. It's a social gathering where you have some drinks, you eat crabs. I don't care if you sit here for 1 hour or 5 hours.
It's an
As long as
event.
You leave my restaurant with an experience.
And
I'm
there's so
starting
many,
after this conversation to feel like a crab cakeologist, if that's such a thing.
We're gonna
Wow,
bring
what
up-
an education.
we're gonna bring you up there and have you have his blue crabs, because, like you said, the size of these blue crabs, and it's an event. You can't be you have to be patient when you eat blue crabs. Get yourself a cold beverage, and learn the technique of cracking. I'm born and raised a native Floridian. I used to catch blue crabs off the beach in Daytona Beach with a string and a chicken neck tied to the line, and pull them in and fill up a cooler of blue crabs and cook them up. And the crabs you guys do there, man, I can sit there all night, and I have sat there all night and ate these blue crabs. Have you ever had a blue crab?
I haven't, but so I just want to get back to the recommendation, Jeff. So if I was coming in for the first time, what are you going to recommend I order?
Everything.
I definitely recommend crab cakes, and then also when we do have crabs, I personally will come out and show you all.
Hey, dude, we don't want you coming out if you got crabs. Was that my outside voice? No, yeah, okay, well, we can edit that out.
Some
Anyway,
things
yes.
need to be left unsaid.
Yeah,
Jeff.
there you go. But seriously, dude, you guys do an amazing job there, man. And we're on the Pirate Radio Show. We're about supporting local businesses like yourself that, during this COVID time, is tough on everybody. So we can help get the word out about your restaurant, which
Yeah.
is phenomenal food.
So how can I get there? Where can I find you?
You can find us pretty much anywhere online: Google, Facebook, Instagram. It's just The Quiet Crab. Our website is www.thequietcrab.com. The number to restaurant is 772-210-5154.
The address is 6075 Southeast Federal Highway in Stuart, Florida.
Yes.
And just so you know, you have to say www anymore. Every time I hear www, I want to start wrestling somebody. No, it's thequietcrab.com.
I'm all about supporting small businesses. I don't care if it's a startup or, mom and pop that's been in business for 25, 30 years.
That's right.
Small businesses you know, we don't have an economy. I mean, I don't care about corporate businesses. It's all about small.
Yep,
So
we all
I
need
appreciate the opportunity you guys gave.
we all need each other's help, my brother. And that's part of why we're here, is to support guys like you that, you know, you've given, we've done some events with you or charity stuff you've been involved in and give it back. So we appreciate your time and the stuff you do in your community that your business is located in. And we're going to have the Pirate Radio Show crew come in one of these days, and we're going to tear some blue crabs up.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a crab cake off.
How about this weekend? Let's head on over to the Quiet Crab.
And, you know,
Well, you got a gig after today's show. You
I
can't
do
go
have a
anywhere.
gig.
Yeah,
I have
go
a gig
sing.
coming up on Sunday at the Old Fish House in Grand, Florida, 3 to 6 p.m. So check that out. Check me out on.
Once again, that was Jeff Gold from the Quiet Crab, and you are listening to the Pirate Radio Show. Don't forget to check out Monique McCall at the Old Fish House this afternoon from 3 to 6 in Grant, Florida. Check out our Facebook page, or go to MoniqueMcCallMusic.com. Go to our Pirate Radio Show Facebook page, like us. Go to the Fish Florida Association, like them. Like everybody. We're all about love.
We're all
Thanks
about
for tuning
living
in.
and loving.
That's
Monique
right.
McCall and Johnny Ringo, thanks so much for joining us today
See you next week.
on the Pirate Radio Show.
Arr.
Facebook and Instagram, and I hope I get to see you there. I hope you'll comment on as well, Jeff.
He-
definitely going to try and make that. Johnny will give me the information for sure.
I will
Awesome.
do that. Well, Jeff, we will see you soon. I promise you that, because now I am craving some crab cakes and some hot, garlicky, spicy blue crabs, man.
Yeah, we can add some Code Rum hot sauce to that, and it'll really add
There
an
you go.
extra little
You
zing.
can bring your own hot sauce. I don't know all that.
All
Perfect.
right, we love you for that. Thank you.
Jeff Gold from the Quiet Crab, Stuart, Florida. We'll be right back after these messages.